Hi everybody, welcome back. This is Brian Town with Final Cut Pro Trainer and Michigan Creative. If you've been following these tutorials, you've already got your library, your events, and your project timeline you created. You've imported your media and some clips down to the timeline, and now you're ready to start editing. So we just want to show you some quick edit tools to get you started. If you haven't seen the previous two episodes, make sure you go back on our YouTube page and check those out. That'll allow you to get your Final Cut kind of looking like mine. Obviously, they're not the same footage, but so basically all we're going to do today is just show you some really quick things on how to edit. Just quick reminder, there's shortcut keys and right clicks, and you can do file, you can do probably 3 or 4 different ways to do the same thing in Final Cut. So we're going to show you a couple different ways, and of course you can edit like you want. The more you can use the keyboard and the less you use the mouse, the faster you're going to be. And so my goal for you guys would be to, let's just really get 10 shortcut keys, 10 keyboard presses to do things that your mouse could normally do. If you can do that, that's pretty good. Some people do 20 or 30. I can't do that many, but 10 would be really, really good. I think that's typically what our editors here at Michigan Creative have a handle on. You can always see those. Like if you're always wondering, I wonder what the shortcut key is, you can always just take a look and hold your mouse and just don't click and just kind of let it set over top of any icon, and it's going to show you what the shortcut key is for that. So obviously this one is import, so it's Command I. Any of the other tools, if you just hold your mouse over top of them, it'll just give you a letter that says Q, so that would be just the Q key. And same thing with inside of here, which we'll talk about today. This shows you the different commands that you can do, and these are not with an add-on, these are just with the letter, so A, T, P, R, and so on. So if you can do that, that would be awesome. So today what we're going to do is show you how to trim, how to use the position tool, how to use the range selector tool, the blade, the zoom, and the hand. So all we're going to do today though is we're just going to do select, positions, and blade. So we're just going to focus on those 3. So we're going to focus on select, position, and blade. That's all we're going to talk about today. So the select button is always on by default, and that just allows you to use your mouse with the left click any way that you want. All right. So again, here, if I wanted to move from the select tool to the trim tool or position or any of the other ones, I could just simply hit that letter. All right, so now what we're going to do is just do the select tool. Like I said, it allows you to move anything around on the timeline, both up in here and down. And remember, the select tool works with Final Cut Pro's magnetic timeline. And what I mean by magnetic timeline is if I use the select tool here and I pull this or lift this clip out, you'll notice how it magnets over. Okay, at first that was kind of annoying to me, but now it's actually really useful and moves stuff around. Once in a while you'll get into an area that you're like, I wish this magnetic tool wasn't on, but anyway, it is on and we like it, and it seems to be working pretty good. So this is just going to allow me to select and move stuff around. I can click up here and move my timeline. One of the things I want to point to real quick too is some of us like to edit with the scrub feature on, and if you look right here, I just want to talk about these 3 buttons down here. This is the solo. We'll talk about that when we talk about audio and some video stuff. But what I want to talk about is these right here. So if you hold your mouse over top of these keys right here, it's turn video and audio skimming together on or off. And this one is just audio skimming. So you can either turn on all or turn off video and audio, or you can have them all off. So I like to have them all off. Now what that means is if these are all off, notice how when I move my mouse, my timeline doesn't move. So what I have to do if I want to move my playhead right here, I have to click up into the numbers and move it left to right. That's how I like to edit. I don't like to have it just automatically do it for me. So if I show you real quick what happens when I click this on, right now I'm not clicking, and I'm just moving my mouse left and right. I still have to click to move my playhead, but notice like this is on, moving left to right, and now if I turn it off, I'm moving left to right, and it doesn't change this area up here. All right, that's how I like to edit. If you have them both on, then you not only get the video, but you also get the audio that goes along with it. So notice here, as you can hear, I can hear the audio. Now if I turn off just the audio, I can only see the video and not hear the audio. And if I turn off the video, it doesn't do anything. without me clicking. So it's up to you. This is how I like to edit. I hate that annoying sound of scrubbing across the timeline. I know Allie has them both on, I think, and she's really good at it. So it's totally up to you. So do whatever you want. So let's move on real quick. Do want to talk to you about the last thing that's up here, which is the snapping. And what snapping allows you to do is to really get close to the clips or to your playhead. So for example, when snapping is on, if you look right here, this right next to the S, there's this little thing that has two clips together. It's called snapping. If you hold your mouse over, N is the shortcut key. So you'll notice if snapping is on, it's gonna, when I get close to this timeline, this playhead, it's gonna snap to that playhead. Sort of releases and snaps. If I have snapping off, it's gonna allow me to just go right through that timeline, and it's just gonna, or that playhead, and it's just gonna allow me to go right through it. See that? It's gonna allow me to go right through it and does not snap. So there's sometimes you're gonna need it where snapping is off because you're really trying to get precise, but sometimes, for the most part, snapping is usually on because that'll snap right to a playhead or it'll snap right to a clip. And so let me just show you that real quick. If I bring a clip down here, this is going to magnetic timeline to me. So what I can also do though is if I want to snap this clip to that playhead right at that point where that B-roll needs to come in, it'll allow that to just sort of magnet to that playhead. So it sort of stops. You can push your way through, but at least it stops and allows you to line up to that exact point. So snapping is really sweet for that. Let's say that you have this and you want to go just a little bit that way. It's going to be annoying because I'm trying to pull left and it's like, ugh, won't let me go through. I just want to move it just a couple frames. I turn snapping off, snapping back on, and I'm good to go. Again, the N key, I'm hitting the N key right now. It's turning snapping on and turning snapping off. Okay, so we'll leave it on for now. Now let's go to the blade tool. So the blade tool is right here, and it's just the letter B. You'll notice when I hit the letter B, or if I just click B in here for blade, this will allow me to bring up a razor blade. I can cut this anywhere I want on my timeline. You can see it's scrubbing with me, whether this is turned on or off, doesn't matter. Or I can snap and blade right here. One thing you want to notice though is as I did that cut, and as I do multiple cuts, notice that the blade stays on. So typically what you're going to do is you're going to blade, get back to your selection tool by hitting the letter A, and then hit delete. So again, if I want to cut this clip in the middle, what I'm going to do is go letter B for blade, cut, letter B for blade, cut, A for selection, click on it, and hit delete. And that's going to move everything back. Okay. The last thing that we want to talk about is the position tool. And the position tool allows that magnetic timeline to be turned off temporarily. So let's say that you want to move this clip, but you don't want it to magnetic timeline and close this gap. So if I have the selection tool on, which I do right now, and I move this, everything's going to get shifted to the left. But let's say that I want to leave that gap there for whatever reason. So I'm going to take my position tool, I'm going to pull this clip out of there, and it leaves a space in here for me to do whatever I would like. Now you can go ahead and delete that space and it'll magnetic timeline, or you can do something different. It's like, let's throw this clip in there. And now we've got a new clip in the position where this clip was. So that turns off the magnetic timeline until you turn it back on, or by hitting the select key. Okay? So the select key and the position. All right, I think that is the three basic tools: select, position, and blade. Don't forget, we talked about video skimming, audio skimming, and also snapping. But also, don't forget about Command Z. Command Z is your friend, and what Command Z does, as I know all of you should know, is it does undo. And it is a very useful tool, as many of you know. So, a couple other quick things before we go. We talked about those three tools. I just want to talk about lifting from the storyline. If you have a clip here that you want to just pull out and put something else in there, you can right click on it and lift from the storyline. Some other things too that I just wanted to show you is you can multiple select clips by using either the position tool or the select tool. If I want to just take all these clips and just move them over, I can do that. I just simply left click and drag. Or if I want to do that and take this clip and this clip, these two down here, this one and this one, but I want to put something else there, so I don't want everything to shift. So watch, I'm going to select these and they're all going to shift and everything gets messy. But what if I use the position tool? Position tool, move out, move over. Nice. Okay, so there's just some few little quick tips about selecting, moving, and positioning, and we will see you on our next episode